Let's go make this quilt as you go, making waves table runner. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. Missouri Star Quilt Company is giving you a free download to this pattern, Making Waves, and it's a pattern for 5" by 5" squares, so a charm pack. I'm using these Autumn Ember batiks. The link for the pattern and for the fabrics that I'm using are both in the caption. Our pattern says to sort 10 pairs of squares. I went through my stacks of squares and I found 10 pairs. So 2 matching, and I put them in 2 different piles. Then it says take 1 pile of 10 squares and cut it to 4" by 4", which I did. From the background fabric, cut 10 5" by 5" squares, and then the other stack of 5" by 5" squares we're going to mark. We're going to lay our ruler across the top and draw a line diagonally. We're going to lay this on top of our background square, and then we're going to sew a straight seam right here and right here on both sides. Straight stitch. You're going to get a 1/4" seam because you're going to follow the edge of your presser foot with the line that you drew, and you're going to sew down both sides, and then we're going to cut it apart and have these precious half square triangles.
Y'all know I love a half square triangle because depending on how you turn it, you can get so many different designs out of it. And I love this design, and the quilt as you go part of it is really neat too. Y'all have all of the quilt as you go questions, and this method is a great one to follow. Super easy, and you can use your scraps for it. You can make these with any fabrics you want. I'm choosing to use fall fabrics because it's fall, and I thought it would be precious for Thanksgiving or whatever your fall gathering is. You can put it up now, use it for the fall, through Halloween, and into Thanksgiving, and then pick it up and make a Christmas one.
Okay, I've sewn down both sides of the line that I drew. Do you see that? Now, I'm just going to get my scissors, and I'm going to cut on this line. These are my Amelia 8" scissors from Missouri Star Quilt Company, and they're my favorites. Now, I'm going to iron all of my half square triangles. I'm not ironing my seams open or even to one side. I'm just ironing it flat. They're naturally going to one side because of the way that I'm ironing them, but I'm not really worried about what it looks like on the back side. This is my ironing situation. Heat resistant pad, wool mat, fabulous Aliso iron from Missouri Star Quilt Company. Love all of it. This iron is like halfway between a big iron and a mini iron. I don't love a mini iron, they're too small. Or the one that I have is very small. It's like half this size. And I don't love it because it's not heavy enough. This one's heavy and gets super hot. Now we're going to take our 4.5" by 4.5" piece, and we're going to match the triangles that go with it so that it looks like this. And we're going to make 5 that look like this. So I'm going to match up all of my pieces.
I matched up my pieces so that then I could alternate the colors and I would know which pieces I wanted to sew in what direction. Your pattern has a picture that you can go by showing you how exactly your blocks go together.
I've chosen to do these 5 one way and these 5 the other way. So I'm going to start with these, and I'm going to pick this one up, lay it pretty side down. I'm going to line up this corner over here, not the edge that has the seam. I'm going to line up that corner, and I'm going to sew right here. Straight stitch, 1/4" seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop. And then I'm going to open that up and add this to the bottom. Same thing, straight stitch, 1/4" seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop.
You can use any fabric you want for the half square triangles and solid pieces, and any fabric you want for the background. And let's say that you're not really into this now. You just don't really think it's your thing. Go to Missouri Star Quilt Company, download the free pattern, because it might be in 3 months, it might be in 3 years, but then you'll wish you had it. I got my schedule for the birthday bash. I'll be doing a demo on Wednesday, a demo on Thursday, and I have my theater show Thursday morning. I want to know who all's coming. And if you can't come, I just want you to know that I'm going to miss you, but I'm so excited to meet all of the people that are coming.
We've sewn 5 going this direction. Now we're going to sew our 5 going this direction. Just like that. We're going to sew these 5 like this.
I'm doing a trunk show and telling my story, and I want to know what are the things that y'all want to see. I have some ideas. I'm going to bring some things that we've made together and bring some things that I made for the little ladies and some things that y'all have never seen. But if you have something specific that you want to see, I'm going to be sure to bring that. So if you have a request, drop it in the comments because I want to make sure I'm bringing things that y'all want to look at.
Okay, we've done that. Fold the backing rectangle in half in both directions. Mark the centers along the edges. Repeat to mark the centers of the batting rectangle. Lay the batting rectangle face down. Fuse the batting rectangle to the center of the backing rectangle, following the manufacturer's directions for the fusing powder. Refer to the diagram on page 5 to arrange your blocks in one row, beginning with block A and alternating with block B. I put my batting on top of my backing fabric. I folded it in half and in half again. Here's my center. It's good enough for me. Okay, I'm starting at the center and putting 1 because I need 5 on this side and 5 on that side. If I can get it close, it'll be fine. It's not going the right way, Tam.
I encourage you to do what I'm doing before you get started. Lay your blocks out so you make sure you like your color combinations and so you make sure they're going in the right direction.
Unless I'm missing something, it doesn't tell me how far over to start my block, but it tells me right here to put it in the center, and there should be some overage of the batting and the backing. So this is where we're going to start it at. Now it says beginning with one block and alternating to the next one. We're just going to drop a pin in each one of these, and we'll take our pins out as we get to them. This pattern makes a whole lot of assumptions. Assumption number 1, that I can sew these blocks in a straight line, but we'll see. I like this. This is half of my table runner. So I'm going to start here. I put a few pins in it just to keep my pieces where I want them, and I'm going to put these 2 pieces pretty side to pretty side. I'm going to lay them down right here. I'm going to sew a straight stitch right here. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, following the edge of my fabric with the edge of my presser foot. Back stitching when I start and when I stop.
Truthfully, I didn't understand the instructions about the fusible something, so we just skipped that part.
This is what we're doing. After we've done this, we're going to iron this flat. I did not iron my blocks before I got started. Sorry, y'all. We're going to take our next piece, which is this one, and we're going to turn it over. Pretty side to pretty side. And we're going to sew right down this seam. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, just like always. And then I'm going to open it up and iron it, and then I'm going to pick that one up, pretty side to pretty side, straight stitch, open it up and iron it, pick this one up, and then I'm going to lay my other 5 blocks out.
The first one of anything is always the hardest because you don't really understand what you're doing. And after I finish this, I now understand. Your batting is significantly larger than the center piece, and your backing is even larger than that. So that if your batting shifts or your piece moves, you can square it up at the end. But I did a pretty good job sewing mine straight. And all you're doing is laying one on top of the next one and sewing down one side, opening it up, ironing it, and then laying the next one down. It's really easy. It's not hard and it's not heavy, but it does get a little bit bulky. So I rolled mine up to make it a little easier to get it through the throat of my sewing machine. I laid out half of mine and then I went back and laid out the other half so that I wouldn't have all those pins poking me and I wouldn't be battling all of this at one time. So I did my quilt as you go down one end from the center out, and then my quilt as you go down the other end from the center out. And when you make these projects, I want you to be sure to email a photo to hometownquiltcompany@gmail.com. I want to see your fabric choices. I want to see the table runners that you make. When I see the things that you've emailed me, so much talent. There's so much talent and so much inspiration. And you don't realize it, but people are looking at your things thinking, I can make that. And that is what is inspiring people to pick up their sewing machine and to sew. And those of you who sew know that what I'm about to say is so very true. It is pure joy. Sewing brings us so much joy. And to be able to pass that along to somebody is incredible. Y'all keep sending the pictures and I'll keep sharing them. And together we'll keep inspiring people.
We've sewn our pieces on. Quilt as you go. We got that part done. Now our instructions say cut 3-inch strips across the width of the background fabric. That's this. Measure the length of your top and bottom borders, approximately 40.5 inches. Lay a border strip along the top of your quilted block, right sides facing. Sew along the edge. Repeat, add a border strip along the bottom. Open and press. Okay, just cut the selvage off. What this is telling us to do is take this border strip and place it pretty side to pretty side. All the way down this side. And you're gonna sew all the way down it. And when you get to the end, I'm going to sew mine down and then trim mine off. It's probably against the rules, but it's what I'm doing. Sew it down, then I'm going to trim mine off. We're going to open it up and press it. So we're going to sew it on just like we did these. Then I'm going to do the same thing, the border of this side. And then I'm going to do the border, well, let's do those two first. We'll do this one And then we'll do this one, then we'll open them and press them and talk about the other two.
The instructions said to measure the side of it and then cut your border pieces and then sew it on. The border pieces are 3 inches wide, so I just used what I had, sewed it on, and when I got to the bottom, I backstitched, cut it off, and then I snipped the end of it off. But if you want to measure the sides of yours before you sew it on, that's what I want you to do. If you do your cutting first, like me, part of the instructions are to cut 3-inch strips, and that's what I used. I just didn't cut them down again.
I'm going to fold this up. We've ironed it down. Now let's fold it up. We've sewn it down. Now let's fold it up and iron it. Now we're going to take this 3-inch strip. I'm going to cut it in half, just so I don't have to deal with the whole thing. And we're going to do it the same way. We're going to lay it down on top of here. We want this side to be even all the way down. We're going to straight stitch that. After we straight stitch that, I'm going to cut that off, fold it out, and iron it. After I did my end borders, I sewed all the way around my whole table runner, and then I just cut all of the excess from it. Now I want you to bind it with your preferred method. And if you don't have a preferred method, search Hometown Quilt Company binding, and there's really great full-length tutorials on how to bind. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.